You ever like start talking to someone and you're like, how are they single? How are you single? And then like a week later, you're like, oh. Oh.
Welcome to The Wall. In today's video, we'll be exploring the case of a woman who decides to leave her marriage after a Chad commented on one of her TikTok posts. We'll see how this woman ends her marriage to marry the Chad and bring him to the United States. We'll also observe how women over 40 have completely lost all shame in openly pursuing Chads. Before we begin, we want to thank you for being here. Your support means a lot to us. If you like what you see, we invite you to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. We'd also love to hear about your experiences in the comments. Your engagement helps us grow and reach more people. Thank you for being part of our project. Let's get started.
Hey, a little story time in the dating diaries world. So I went out with some friends last night. We're all single, and we were at this really cute restaurant, and this amazingly beautiful man walks in and sits at the bar by himself. So we're talking about him the whole time, like, oh my gosh, he's so cute. And what's he doing all by himself? So we watched him, and then he ate his dinner alone, and then he left. And then this morning, this is in Uptown, Minneapolis. And this morning, I was in the North Loop in Minneapolis, working at a coffee shop, and he walks in. So I'm like, what are the odds? So I went up and said, were you at this restaurant last night? And we started talking, and he asked me on a date. And I'm dying, like, what are the odds? Kinda cool.
Afterwards, he hears saying that men are the hunters, and women will always pave the way for a man they feel a genuine high interest in. Many of these women constantly send messages to men they like on social media. What happens is that women are more subtle than men. By the time you realize it, that woman has made and undone. Look at how she saw this guy in a bar. She was dying to approach him. She's probably a divorced woman. She has needs to fulfill, especially on the wall where men don't pay attention to her. She decided that upon seeing him at her cafe, she would take the initiative. Don't be surprised by this because nowadays more and more women are taking the initiative, going after men. The wall doesn't forgive. She has to make the moves nowadays, but for which type of men? For the Chads, men who bring nothing to the table except their seed. Of course, she takes a risk for this man to see if he'll put her on an emotional roller coaster. If you don't believe me, watch the next video to see that a woman's genuine interest is non-negotiable, as they'll do whatever it takes to go after a man.
Imagine destroying your marriage for someone that you simply decided to meet off of social media. Watch this and let me know what you think.
Hi, TikTok. Today, I'm having a few drinks. I'm not really a drinker, but I'm also not a monster. I'm celebrating today because my ex-husband and I filed our divorce papers. And you want to know what? We're celebrating together. So a lot of you have asked how I met my husband, the Beardsmith. This is the comment that I left on his video the day that I met him, April 11th, 2021. And he answered me, and that was it. The rest is history. I screenshotted it for USCIS. So now U.S. immigration can see the very day that I met my husband.
And here's his video that apparently started it all.
Remember, friends, that a woman will always be loyal to her emotions. This man did nothing more than write a comment for this woman to leave a marriage of over 10 years. That's why I always say real interest is non-negotiable. This woman didn't find out if he was a dangerous criminal, didn't investigate if he had money, didn't care about anything, because all she was interested in was for this man to pump her hard, because he's a Chad. A man who brings nothing to the table except his seed. Then she hears her excuses that all men are abusers when she left the father of her children over a comment. Many women watch this video but don't hear them saying how she abandoned the father of her children after more than 10 years of marriage. No, that never happens because the woman deserves to be happy. If she's not happy with that man, she has every right to break her vows. Besides, did you hear how she talked about migration? Surely she got him papers to come over. He's not stupid. Let's see this old lady bringing him to the US. Of course, he'll be calm about his residency or citizenship. That's why I always say on the wedding day, only one person gets married for love, and that's the man. Watch the second part.
So someone left a comment on one of her videos asking, you left your husband for someone you met on TikTok. And here's her response.
Well, I knew this little question was going to come up. Yes, I was married when I met my current husband on TikTok. I'll explain. My relationship with my ex-husband was more of a friendship than anything. We both met when we were in really lonely places in our late 30s. We both wanted a family. We had a lot in common, and we had met in elementary school, so we felt really safe with each other. But we ignored the fact that there wasn't really a spark. So when I met my current husband, there was this immediate connection, attraction. I felt very I don't know how to describe it. When it's the person, you just kind of know. So within 3 days of meeting my current partner, I had to admit to myself and my ex that we were just friends, and I tore the Band-Aid, and now we're all great friends. Good morning, TikTok. I need to address this. A lot of you people are assuming by my last video that I cheated on my ex-husband. He will tell you, and I will tell you, I did not. I met my current husband. So he was nothing to me at the time. What had happened is my response to him made me realize my feelings had changed. Whether or not it was him, someone else, my heart was ready to move on. I was in more of a friendship-based marriage than anything else, and our marriage was getting in the way of our friendship. We were not intimate. We slept in separate rooms for 4 years, but we were trying to go through the motions and honor the marriage for our daughter. And I was the one that sat him down and said it was time for us both to move on.
See why I tell you that women who reach the wall only seek long-term financial security? This woman was 30 years old and at the wall. She didn't love the beta provider, but she wanted children. She said, why not stick with this one? She'll always spin the story in her favor. Surely she never liked that man. That's why the first thing she did was cut off intimacy once she got married and had her children. She didn't want him anymore. He had served his purpose, and once he fulfilled his function, she discarded him. Surely this man was well-positioned, so why go for a man who only had to comment on one of her TikTok posts for her to leave her husband? That's it. That's why the only one who gets married for love is the man. Don't be any woman's lifeline. Now she says, and I accept it. One thing is a mutual breakup agreement. Another is you seeking a new husband, then establishing a divorce. Why impose a decision on me? Who believes this woman's story that she wasn't unfaithful when she was drooling over him just from seeing him on TikTok? Clearly, from the moment she saw him in person, she handed herself over to him. After tasting the Chad, she went to ask for a divorce. Remember, when they're left, they're the victims, but when they leave you, it's because they deserve to be happy. Let's wait. Surely Chad will do his thing eventually. Karma will catch up to her.
One thing I love about being single in my 40s is I just legitimately don't give a fuck. So like when I encounter like a little weak ass man and I just know that I just don't have the energy for that, I just like step away, casually walk away. And when he's like, oh boo, where'd you go? I was like, yo, I just walked away. You weren't giving me what I needed, so I just moved on to the next one. You can have fun as you go while you're waiting for the real man at the end who's gonna level up, who's gonna be able to match your fucking energy, who's not gonna give a fuck about your strength or your power, who's gonna be mesmerized by it. And so dating in your 40s is a flex. If you can channel that energy where you're just like, listen, you show me what you want. I'm going to match your energy. I'm going to match your fucking actions. And yeah, if you're upset that I didn't give you enough attention, well, guess what, bro? That means you weren't giving me enough attention either. It's a whole vibe.
No matter the age, a woman will always have suitors. Now, what kind of suitors are the ones these women actually get? Because all I hear them say is weak men, or you didn't give me what I needed. I only think of two things. When a woman calls a man weak, it's because she told him about her past or body count, and the man doesn't want a relationship after that. And when they talk about what I needed, It's because they've gotten off the carousel and now want a beta provider. After having fun, they now want a serious man who can provide long-term financial security. All I hear is when she says, "Move on to the next one. You can have fun while waiting for the right man." In other words, they go have fun with the chads while waiting for the right beta provider, who's desperate enough to want her despite her whole body count. Brothers, send these women to the wall, or just have fun with them, because these Western women aren't loyal. Don't even think about committing to avoid having a dead bedroom, my friend.
Hey y'all, hey, it's Lisa from the kitchen. Listen, real quick, I'm doing some meal prep because I have to go back to work tomorrow for the next 3 days, nights anyway, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, listen, I went to town today to get some vegetables, and I had to go to the $1.25 store, and when I walked into the $1.25 store, there was no cars in the parking lot. Now, mind you, this store is in a shopping center with some other stores, and when I walked out, y'all, there was big trucks all over the parking lot, four-wheel drive trucks with four-wheelers in the back and towing trailers full of wood and things. And I thought, where there are pickup trucks that are four-wheel drive, there are also, man, I found some for y'all women of TikTok. Listen, Tractor Supply between the hours of 11:45 and 12:45. I mean, of course I had to go up in there and check out what the offering was, and I did. And I could have put my chair up at the front door and been the unofficial greeter for the Tractor Supply for the lunch hour. I didn't know, y'all. Anyway, there was so many flavors of men in there. I mean, all different shapes and sizes, and tattoos and no tattoos, and chest hair and no chest hair, and ball caps and cowboy hats and belt buckles and jeans. Oh, mercy. That is why I'm a George Strait fan, y'all. Wrangler butts drive me nuts. Anyway, I may or may not have spent the better part of 30 minutes asking tall men to get things off the top shelf for me. Don't judge me. It was fantastic, and it was well worth it. I did not get any phone numbers of any men today. That was not what I was going in there for. I was going on a reconnaissance mission for the women of TikTok. Just go by there at lunch hour sometime and just check it out. I mean, I might need to go back after like 4 or 5 o'clock when everybody gets off work, but I just don't know if they would be there or not. But I'm gonna find out for y'all. I may or may not have spent $88 and some change on a bunch of crap I probably don't need, but birthdays and Christmas are coming up, so that's what my family will be getting for the gifts. Anyway, I just keep watching out for y'all. Look, I got my eyes out for the men, for where all the men are at for you women of the TikTok. Anyway, I got to finish my meal prep because I don't eat fast food because it's bad for my belly. Anyway, I love y'all, mean it.
She was on a reconnaissance mission for all women. Nowadays, the older the woman gets, the more shameless she becomes. This lady should be taking care of grandchildren, but she's out there looking for men. Ladies, if you're in your 60s, you'd better get a cat. It's unbelievable how desperate they are for a chad to pump them. They're like hungry wolves, immediately seeking out places with more than 5 men, advertising it on TikTok so that more desperate women go searching for a man. Being a single, commitment-free man nowadays is fun with so many desperate women. Brothers, don't trust any woman, not even the one in your own house. Always be alert because overnight, she could change. That's why I say the best investment a man can make is always in himself. Exercise, good nutrition, emergency fund, a solid wardrobe. Never let yourself go because a woman's hypergamy doesn't play around. The moment she finds someone she likes more than you, she'll change. Women like this, send them to the wall because the wall doesn't forgive. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, the questions are for you. What do you think about the woman who left her husband for Chad? Have you ever seen older women desperate for a man? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Your support means the world to us and motivates us to create more content. Stay tuned for the next exciting video from the wall.